Good morning. I have my coffee and I am ready to share with you what we have decided to use. Some of the questions that came up were, it looks really, really expensive. So just a reminder, this is for 3 different children, 3 different grades. 90% of these resources, I would say, is either thrifted or I found sales. So yeah, always looking for sales and getting things secondhand at conferences and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get to it and show you what we are using this year. In no particular order, I'm just gonna share it how I have it laid out here. So if you've been around here long enough, you know that this is probably no surprise at all what we are using for our language arts program. This will be for my 6th grader. She is going to be using the TAN books from Learning Language Arts Through Literature. So I have her student activity book and my teacher book here, along with her readers. I just grabbed the bundle this year, so she will be going through and reading independently and doing book studies on The Horse and His Boy, Big Red, The Bronze Bow, and this one here. There's a lot of other stories in there, like The Jungle Book, Anne of Green Gables, that I will probably get her to read as well. We are also going with the yellow book from Learning Language Arts Through Literature for my grade 3 son. So this is what his looks like. He'll be covering Mother Goose, so I grabbed that. I actually stuck the teacher guide right in a binder, probably not keeping this one. So this year I will have a binder. You can get ebooks now for Learning Language Arts Through Literature, and that's what I did. I just pulled out some of his books that are going to be incorporated with his yellow book. Mother Goose, that's his student book. The Tale of Benjamin Bunny, Madeline, The White Stallion, and George Washington. There's a few other books that I still have to pull out for his. My daughter is going into grade 1, so we are going to finish up the blue book. So she actually did the first half for her kindergarten year, and we're going to be finishing up the blue book, the last half. Okay, sorry, got cut off here. So she will be completing the next half of the blue book, and then she will be continuing on right through to the red book, because there's actually more weeks in these. There's 36 lessons, so she'll be continuing on the 3rd book when she is finished. So here are just some of the books that will be incorporated: The Runaway Bunny, Blueberries for Sal, Peter Rabbit, Make Way for Ducklings, and then I have her stuff. Again, I got the ebook for her and just printed off the workbook because my son had used the other workbook, so we just got a new one for her. Oh, and then we had thrifted this little one, cute little cutouts for Peter Rabbit that I thought would be cute for her to do. So yes, for all 3 of my kids, we'll be continuing and using Learning Language Arts Through Literature. So for math, we are continuing with Matthew C. We love Matthew C, and we're gonna just stick with it. So my daughter actually will be finishing, she has a few lessons left of Delta. She'll finish that and then move on to this one. So that will be for my 6th grader. This is going to be Gamma is for my 3rd grader, and my daughter is using Alpha. So we are continuing with Matthew C. So another program that we are sticking with is God's Design. This is the science units. This one is God's Design for Life, Human Body, and this is the beginner version. We are going to bulk it up with lots of books and experiments for my oldest. So yeah, I kind of flagged the different spots in this one that I want to add additional books to or experiments. So we will be using God's Design, Human Body this year. So I just grabbed a few books that we will be incorporating with this Oh, and this is here because if we finish this one, because the lessons are pretty simple, if we finish this one early, we will actually begin and move on to another one of God's design. This is under Heaven and Earth for their weather and water unit. So we might use this one. So I pulled it out just in case. Here's another human body book that is very cool that we will be using alongside. So that is for science. Next, for spelling, we are going to be using only for my oldest, and I'm going to just try this out, a reason for spelling. So I still haven't peeked through enough of this curriculum to even give any thoughts about it, but we're going to try, I think, a spelling program for my oldest, and if it doesn't work, that's okay. We will just use the way we've been doing spelling in her learning language arts through literature. One of the subjects that I really want us to get better at this year is a language. So because our province is bilingual, it's really important for us to learn French. So I got the French level 1 and 2 set. There's actually 2 notebooks or workbooks in here for my 2 oldest. And this is the homeschool edition. I got this secondhand. So yeah, we're excited to try out a language this year. And for language, we're using Rosetta Stone. My oldest is, again, grade 6. So for typing, we are going to try, it's called Typing Island. So I haven't really looked too much into this. I got this secondhand as well. For morning time, we are going to continue to work our way through Then Sings My Soul. These are hymns. And each hymn, it has the sheet music, the words, and it also has a little background about the hymn and the person who composed it. So we will continue that for morning time. We are going to be studying Robert Louis Stevenson for our poet and our poems. So I get the kids to memorize poetry. And we really, really, really love Robert Louis Stevenson, so we're going to continue on through his work. And yeah, so we'll be using this book for that. For handwriting this year, we are going to use a reason for handwriting for all 3 of the kids this year. Last year, I tried handwriting without tears, but my middle child didn't really gravitate well to it. So we are going to try this one out. My oldest actually used this one and loved it. So we are going to use it again for all 3 of my kids this time. So this one's from my oldest. So she'll be transitioning into cursive writing. She still has some left in her B book. So I said that she could go ahead and do 1 week print and then 1 week her cursive. And then my kindergartner will be using the K book. This one's pretty cute. She loves to color. She loves animals, so this is perfect. And then my middle child in grade 3, he's going to be using A. So this one has more of the same setup as the other levels, where they go through different words of a Bible verse, and at the very last day, they can pick one of these to color and write in their best writing their Bible verse. For character study, we are actually going to be using 5 in a row. I thrifted this one as well at thriftbooks.com. I wrote 17 character traits because there are 17 character traits from stories, picture books, that I flagged that we are going to be using. I'm also going to be picking those books up from the library. So I'm going to have to make a library list with different weeks of when I will need each story by for the year. So this is going to be our character traits and habit training through stories from 5 in a row. So something new that we are incorporating this year is a Bible curriculum. We haven't really done a Bible curriculum before. It was always interweaved in other things that we were doing, and the kids usually pick out a book of the Bible that we read together. We'll probably still do that, but we're going to be incorporating from Apologia. It is called The Word in Motion, the Old Testament. So they have an Old Testament and a New Testament curriculum for this. So it comes with a teacher manual. It's really bright, really colorful, and this one goes through every book of the Old Testament. So they also have motions that they do to help them memorize. So this is what the journal looks like. We have already started, so I know some of it's already filled in and colored. We are really enjoying this, and and here's like their motions that we do. We just laminated them, and this will be for the second half. These little cards about each book of the Bible. So I'm going to share more about this later because we've really been enjoying it in case anyone has any questions. So anyway, this is the Bible curriculum that we will be using from Apologia. We'll be studying the Old Testament, and each child gets their own spiral-bound notebook, and I have the teacher guide. So something to go along with our character study, and just in morning time, we will be doing the N is for Noah. This is through Master Books. We have all three of the ones that they have. So they're just short little lessons about all around the story of Noah. So yeah, anyway, we'll be doing this. This is just like a little short Bible morning time thing. So for nature study this year, I just want to keep it really, really, really simple. So we have a ton of marshes and bogs and ponds all around us. So I really wanted to do using books to just study what is already in our backyard and around us. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of One Small Square, but there is a ton in the series. There's caves, night sky. We got the backyard one. Believe I got this one secondhand too. But we'll be doing just like one page a day and studying the different things about our backyards and the different creatures in our backyards. And I thought if we go through this one pretty quickly, then we will continue on with the wetlands. I picked this up at our conference secondhand. So there's little experiments. It shows wetlands not only in the summer, but also in the winter. And as you know, we're in Canada, and we have frozen marshes and ponds. And so it's nice for the kids to get a chance to read about what is happening underneath the frozen ponds in the winter. This also came with that wetland book, and it is just a coloring book. So as we're studying, we can cut these out and put them in our nature journal. So we're just doing nature studies super, super simple this year. So for geography, we are still going to make our way through daily geography. We did not make it through all of the way this past year, so we're just going to continue where we left off. This is really great because each lesson, the kids study one particular fact right here, and then all they have to do is answer 2 questions about it. So it's really simple. It's really quick. It takes like 5 minutes to do in morning time. So this is what we're going to continue to do with geography. Now for Canada geography, I actually got this book last year, and we didn't use it at all. So I thought there's 10 provinces in Canada and 3 territories. So that's 13 weeks to separate throughout the year. So all we're going to do are these blank pages for each province, and that is all we're going to do. So there is like the flower, the capital, the bird, the flag, and where it is. So each one we will do. It's just really, really simple this year. So I wanted to pick one of Shakespeare's plays this year for the kids to study, for them to get familiar with and be comfortable with. So what we're going to do is, I believe the kids wanted to pick the second one on the CD here. So we will do that so we can listen to it in the car. And I also have the story in here. This is the Osborne Complete Shakespeare. So we're just going to use this to read through and get familiar with that one play of Shakespeare this year. And I think we'll do like a new Shakespeare play each year. So for Canada or Canadian history, we are going to do a pioneer story. This goes through the different seasons for the pioneer, what pioneer life was like here in Canada. And it comes with these really cute experiments and activities to do. And so we're going to work our way through that all year long, alongside sections from these 4 books I'll show you here. So The Courage and Conquest, Discovering Canada's History. So we actually did make our way quite far last year through here, but I think I'm actually this year going to pick and choose just different stories for the kids in this book, and again with these. So we'll pick and choose some stories about the beginning of Canada. So this is what this one looks like. And then the Century of Change and the Making of a Nation. So I'm going to go through and flag. We're not going to do all of these books. We're just going to pick and choose certain things that we want to learn this year. And then we'll probably loop back through year after year for Canada Studies. So for history, we are going to continue using the Mystery of History. We love Mystery of History. And we did not finish Volume 1. So we're actually going to finish or try to finish Volume 1 this year. I have flagged certain spots that I want to do. I have pulled out some books that I'm going to add or was from the reading list that we already owned. This is just one of their atlas books. This is not on the reading list, but it is one of my all-time favorite Bible atlas to look at for kids. People have messaged and said they found it actually at their dollar store. So it's really beautiful, tons of information, and it's just so simply put for each story in the Bible. Like, you have the beginning and the map of maybe where the Garden of Eden is located. So I just really appreciate how simplified it is for the kids to see. So I highly recommend this one if you can find this Bible Atlas book for kids. And then the Children's Book of Myths. So this was recommended. So we will be going through a couple stories as we do Roman times in Mystery of History this year. One of the last subjects is art, so I thought it would be really great in our morning basket or morning collective time together to throw one of these painting cards in by a famous artist. So we will just take a look at one of them each week and read the facts about the different artists. So I thought that'd be really fun. When we are done with this, I'd love to do a heavier focus on Monet. So I have this little book to accompany that. And then for actual drawing and art lessons, we are going to use Idlewild and Company, the art studies. So she does it really simply. It starts out with lines and shapes, and then you work your way up through shading and prints. And then at the end, they get to do their own installation. So it explores a lot of different mediums, and it helps for just the beginning basics of art. So that is what we will be doing for art. I just pulled out our big book of colors because I know they're doing a color wheel in here. So I thought this would be a great use for that. Yeah, so that is for art. I'm waiting on 2 more books coming from Amazon that will accompany this art study here. So I have a few other resources that I have not printed out yet. One of the subjects that we are going to be covering as well is African American history. That is from Lizzie Loves Health. We're going to be getting her guide and working our way through that as well. I'm going to get a lot of those books from the library, but that is just something that isn't shown here yet. I just don't have it. And then also our mini units. I haven't worked on this yet. I've pulled a couple books that we have already for the different topics that my children want to study in their mini units. So I'm just kind of pulling books here and there, ones we have, or if I see some at the thrift stores that I can grab. So yes, I haven't shown you any of the mini units because I'm not really sure. I think we'll just do these with picture books and stuff. And I'm going to sprinkle in mini units throughout our year. I'm not 100% how that's going to look yet, but in my planning process, as you're planning with me, I will show you eventually how I'm going to organize that. But yes, so this is our curriculum choices for the 2022-2023 school year. Let me know if you guys have any questions or if you would like to see anything more in depth. But yeah, thanks for watching, you guys.